Do you remember that PSA that goes, "You wouldn't steal a car"? Well, that was part of an anti-piracy campaign that later failed, in one part because that ad actually used pirated music, but also because of a bunch of parodies that went, "You wouldn't download a car, but what if I told you that you could?" You really can. It's actually quite an easy process, as I'm about to demonstrate. It's actually not like that, but it's more like this. All I have to do is Google open source car, then bam, here are cars that you can download for free. And I mean it, for free. Why? It's because this thing called open source, denoting software for which the original source is made freely available and may be redistributed and modified. If I decide to write some code and I make it open source, then anyone can feel free to download it and use that code for themselves. So what's so great about that? Well, imagine if your guy Dan wrote a code that solved for world hunger and decided to charge people $10 million per person for that code. That's basically extortion. Well, if I wrote the same code and made it open source, then anyone can download that code for free, saving their lives, their money, and most importantly, this is big fuck you, Dan, and fuck you, capitalism. So, what are some open source things that accomplish this in real life? Well, for starters, the Linux operating system is open source. Rather than buying that $100 Windows license or selling your soul for Apple iOS, you can actually use Linux to make your computer free. Almost every wiki or information sharing website that you have seen, from Wikipedia to the Twilight Saga wiki that you found yourself on 3 AM, is built on an open source platform, meaning anyone can make that open source platform without actually needing to know how to code. But how trustworthy is it? It could be made by anyone. Well, it is, but everyone else can also fix it. If I write a buggy mess, then release it to the world, make it open source and forget about it, other people can see that source code, update it, make it better, and release it to the public for others to do the same. While a buggy mess that isn't open source can't be helped by anyone except for its own makers. Open source code is transparent, flexible, free, able to be peer reviewed, and reliable, and that's why it's pretty cool.